Hello, Houston. My name is Jay Howard. I'm the Director of Education. I want to welcome our guests today, our parents that are joining us, and our live stream audience watching at home.
Now, this is not something we usually do as a part of our introducing festival, but I'd like to bring out our stage manager for the past 2 days, Matt. Give a huge round of applause for him. He stepped in for our resident stage manager, Alice, when we needed him most, and he's doing a great job. Now, to get to our community practices, which I know everybody knows and loves, we are device free. Say it with me. Stay in this zone. Leave your phone alone. To enjoy the show each day, put your water bottles away, and when the lights go off, you can take off.
All right, for Spirit Friday, Dream Job Day is tomorrow, so dress up as your dream job. And senior bus monitors, please stay after the show for a meeting.
Hello, welcome everyone. My name is Pasquale Anelli. I'm the chair for the music department this summer. Welcome to our senior band performance. Before we begin, I wanted to acknowledge our studio faculty, Ms. Michelle Laporte, Anju Ayoto, Justin Marks, Janine Nagao, and Patrick Armand. Our assistants are Alexander Delarada, Marco Campanelli, and I just found out that Ms. Kennedy Royale is in the audience. She did a wonderful job working with our students as well for the first 2 weeks, so we definitely want to acknowledge her. Thank you again for being here. Without further ado, I want to welcome Mr. David Schecker, our conductor. Thank you.
The piece that we just played is the first movement from the English folk song suite by Ralph Vaughan Williams. And Ralph Vaughan Williams was one of the preeminent composers in England during the 20th century. 20th century saw two very large and different musical movements. There was one side that was trying to make music as complicated and as unexplainable as possible, and another side that was going towards going back to roots from folk song and that type of thing. This obviously was a folk song derived march, and that's what Ralph Vaughan Williams did in a lot of his writing, was to have that old English type of sound. The next piece we're going to play for you is called Ballad. It's written by a man named Frank Erickson, and it illustrates what I'd like to be able to demonstrate for you all today with what we're playing, is that music, for me anyway, is all about emotion. Sometimes the nice thing about music is that you can get multiple emotions going on at the same time. When my son David, who many of you may know, he does the attendance here in the morning with the white hat on, when he was like 5 years old, he said to me when he came from one of our concerts, he said, that piece made me feel sad and happy at the same time. So, out of the mouths of babes. It is like, some music does that. This music does it in certain places. It's a very simple piece as far as there's not a lot of stuff going on like you had in the last piece. But you can follow it closely, and if you follow it closely, it takes you on a very, very nice emotional ride. Ballad by Frank Erickson. Okay, so we played something that was fast and peppy, and we played something that was slow and sweet. Now we're going to play something that mixes fast, peppy, slow, and sweet, and a whole bunch of other things together. This piece is going to be much, much longer than the last piece that we played, but if you listen to it like you're listening to many small pieces together, strapped together, it helps a lot with your attention. This piece is called In All Its Glory. It's written by James Swearingen. And on the cover of it, there is the picture of the Earth that was taken from the moon. You know, you may have seen that picture. It looks like a little blue marble with swirls all over it. And for those of us who were around at that time, that picture was really something, the idea that we could step back and see where we were living and exactly how fragile it was that you had something so tiny in the middle of everything else that was around, how fragile it was, and how magnificent it is. And so this, In All the Glory, basically tries musically to sweep in these different ideas. You've got a certain amount of reverence, a great deal of joy, a lot of dancing type of things, and that sort of stuff. And then what happens is he takes these melodies near the end, and he puts them all together at the same time. And so you get some idea, it's kind of a musical ecology system, ecosystem that goes on, okay? There's one thing I want to warn you. It seems like the piece is going to be very short because near the beginning, we basically come to a point where we go boom, 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 and we just stop, okay? I don't want you to clap there because what happens is we have a very quiet, very special thing that happens with our suspended cymbal that brings in after that. And if you're clapping, you can't hear that, okay? So what I'm going to do is when we get to that point, I will have them go, and for you, I'm going to hold my hand out like this so you realize, oh, that's that spot where we're not going to clap, okay? Thank you.
rise today.